Welcome back to another deck profile. This time it is my Lunalight deck, aka my Moonlight deck, aka Moonlit Fusion. So starting off this video, we have the card sleeve that I use for this deck, which is just Fusion. If you haven't checked out the previous deck profile, which is the Kyryushin deck profile, go ahead and check that out. On top of all that, again, remember these decks, I'm just updating them. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing with them from their base deck profiles. And this is basically end of season, end of the Juice format, and beginning of the Blazing Dominion format. Wonder what's going to happen? I don't know. But guess the anime girl for this one if you haven't seen anything from this deck. And it is my wife. Da -da -da. From Senran Kagura Kage. Yeah. Wow, I forgot her name now. Anyway, that is the field center I like to use with this deck. Technically, it should go right here. But it's going to cover her face, so we'll just put it right here. Kinda. You know what? We're just going to remove it. So, I'm going to just show you guys what I've been doing with this deck and all that stuff. This deck actually is, unlike the previous deck, which was a control-based deck, this deck is a OTK deck. You just want to OTK your opponent. You don't care about the aftermath. You just want to play through everything and then kill them. It's super fun, super rewarding, but man, if you play too much, you end up burning yourself out. With that being said, we don't play 7 playsets. We actually play only 5 playsets, and each playset needs to be a 1-card combo in order to better pull this off. At least that's what I think. Maybe that's why the Kyryushin deck isn't so good. But again, that's a control deck. This is not a control deck at all. So we're going to play the 3 Gold Leo cards. Again, I kind of assume people already know what these cards do. So I'm not really explaining it, but she's just the 1-card starter of the deck. Foolish Burial Goods, I play at 3. You have to. It is a starter of the deck. There are 2 cards that it can go into that helps get Gold Leo out on the field, or it helps just start playing. Oh, I flipped this mat so I can flip these. So hold on, give me a second. Gold Leo. Let's go ahead and put Foolish Burial Goods on here. Now the funny thing about Lunalight is that their cards aren't actually in archetype. You have to get help from outside the archetype with deck cards like this. They did the same thing with a card I'm going to show you after this, but we are going to play the 3 Moonlight Masquerade. So, Masquerade, you just send a card from the graveyard. It's going to get you into her. This card does the same thing, get you into her. And she's kind of the choke point of the deck. Depends on the hand, of course. But, speaking of needing help from outside the archetype, it is going to be 3 Tenki. I love this rarity of Tenki. 10 out of 10. Best Tenki. I wanted 25th anniversary Tenki, but those were wildly overpriced for no reason. Even though there was a reason. That was because of the meta deck. This card would have been 3 Fractal, but I wanted to try something new, something different. This build is actually an experimental build. So like if I play it, this is what I'm going to be experimenting with to see what you really do with it. And I'm playing this card at 3 because every time I play this deck, I do something special. In real life, I stick to the 1-card combo and the regular outcome of it. But on Master Duel, I've not been doing that, and I've been, as soon as possible, during the combo, if I'm able, and with the cards in my hand, of course, if I'm able to go into Liger Dancer, I immediately go into Liger Dancer. That is what I'm trying to do fast as possible, is just go into Liger Dancer and then blow out the competition. With that being said, I'm now playing this card, which used to be 3 Tenki, not 3 Tenki, 3 Fractal, in case you want to remake the old list. That's why I'm telling you guys this. 3 heavy polymerizations, and that is because when we get to the cards that are set at 2, and since this is a 5 playset deck only, there's going to be a lot of cards at 2. So you're going to have a lot of material for this. Hopefully, you only pay $35 for the Leo. and then the rest you could just go off as material. So with that being said, 3 heavy polymerizations. That'd be like the final card. It is not this. Okay, this card is not a starter, but it can be a starter depending on your hand, depending on your opponent's field. And technically, it's actually an ender. People don't only play starters in Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, okay, this card is an ender. You play it and boom, you got out your end goal basically, which is so crazy to think about. Originally, I played this and Fractal, and then there was another card I played. I think it was Allure of Darkness or something, and it all just got jumbled up. And I realized, okay, well, since I'm doing a lot of 2-ofs, which you guys are going to see right now, it's best I play this as well. So starting off with the 2-of cards, it's actually very hard for me to say this, but a card was not at 2, and I had to bring a card out of, what was it? Out of being 2, basically. It was, you'll see it right now. But I am playing, I should say, 2 Kaleidochick. Kaleidochick at 2, and the rest of the cards are 2, are very interesting. This is before I had the heavy polymerization even in the deck, but I was just obviously experimenting, obviously just playing with the deck to see what would happen. And I think the cards at 2 make a lot of sense. I had them at 1, they did not feel good. I would use them as material. They would be gone forever from the deck, and I was like, if there was another copy in this, I could continue, it would flow more better. 2 Chick, nice. I like 2 Chick. This card was at 1. I moved it to 2 to see how it would do. At 1, phenomenal. It was fine. It was fine at 1. But something in me was telling me, no, play 2, and that would be 2 Martin. Another card at 2 is Silver Hound. And another card at 2 is Black Sheep. These are the cards at 2 for this archetype. One Martin, I don't know why I pointed that one. 1 Martin is absolutely good. Okay. I heard someone say play 1 Black Sheep. Very interesting. I may try that. I want to try that. I want to see what happens. But this is kind of the combo. If you don't go into this, but instead open up, this is like a good hand. Her and her, along with this, and let's say this, because you're playing so many 2-ofs. If this does not get negated, these card effects go off. You know what? Forget Black Sheep. Yeah, let's say Black Sheep's at 1 in this scenario. You activate this, their effects go off. You get Gold Leo, you get a Spiller Trap. And that's kind of the theory behind this card, is just get out Liger. So you would have Liger plus these trying to go off and combo off even more for a whole other Liger or whatever. You'll see what's in the extra deck. But yeah, so these are the ratios. This was actually the old ratio. I'll show you guys everything. I keep saying that. I need to stop. So 2 of everything. We're going to get into the 1-ofs. And I play 6 1-ofs. Technically, you can play even less 1-ofs. And that's even better because of cards like Triple Tactics Talents and Thrust. We'll put that as the inboard for the 2-ofs. Let's start the lineup here again. I play 1 Wolf. I have been playing 1 Wolf. I'm going to make this very clear. I've been playing 1 Wolf, and I have been playing 1 Tiger since Tiger got banned. No, Tiger got limited to 1. I was playing 1 Tiger. They said, oh, we're going to put Tiger to 1, hit the consistency of the deck, which was just XE spam. And I was like, okay, you only need these at 1. You do not need another Wolf. You don't need another. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. At the time, you needed maybe 2 Wolves, and then 1. You just needed 1 Tiger. All you need is 1 Tiger. So it was very easy. When the new support came out to help facilitating more fusion summoning, I dropped her to 1. You still need this on the occasion if you don't hit the win con. You don't hit the win con piece of Masquerade when you do polymerization to discard a card, or maybe you can't discard a card. You just need a Miracle Fusion. Simple. Just banish it all from the graveyard. The other one of is actually the polymerization. I don't think you need another poly unless you're doing something specific, and that would be with the heavy poly. But that would be the only time I would be like, yeah, you get another polymerization or something. You know what I mean? We're not talking about tech cards yet, like Super Poly or I guess Super Duper or Apex polymerization is actually a tech card, seeing that it uses your opponent's monster, or you can, as a combo piece. I don't know. I think it's honestly I think it's a starving venom. I think it's a Predaplant or Predator Plant or Starving Venom. It's a Yuri card, not a girls love card, but Yuri the character. I think it's a Yuri card, 1,000%. It's for his archetype. No business doing anything else. Maybe like Supreme King, I guess, but that's about it. Definitely not in this one. Okay, so remember how I said Martin was at 1? It's because I was actually playing 2 copies of Perfume. It was pretty good. And then also Serenade Dance. I dropped this back to 1 because I'm experimenting with the heavy poly, so that's why I put this at 2, because I want to see more materials. I just want the materials so I can just go completely off. But that is the only reason why. If you're not messing with heavy polymerization and you have 3 fractal, I would say keep her at 2, because you may open with her in hand. You want fractal to just send the other copy. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. On top of that, we're going to get new support, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the whole ratios, because I think this is pretty good. That's why I'm doing the whole update anyway. But who knows? Who knows what the future holds? I don't know. So it's just a little picture in time. So Foolish Burial Goods, just really fast. Foolish Burial Goods. You would send this or this. You're mainly sending this one. You're always just going to send this one. If you go first and you're able to set this, you're going to kill them. Because when you fusion summon and you flip this, that monster gains attack and you create a token. So you can attack again. Now, I know we're not playing Shocker, we're not playing Cat Dancer, so you're not going to get multiple attacks. However, that attack raise, and then if you raise Liger's attack, so let's say they just have 2 monsters. She's going to gain a stack again. Use Liger's effect, blow up the token. It's really good. It happened to me actually 1 time, and only 1 time. I think it was on Master Duel. But it's very interesting. So here's a new card, brand new. It's the reason why this is at 1 and this is at 2. Kinda. Actually, no, that's because it's poly. But this last card would have been Moonlight Fusion. Instead, or Lunalight Fusion. Actually, is it still called Moonlight Fusion? Anyway, it's no longer Moonlight Fusion. It's no longer Lunalight Fusion, whatever. The in archetype poly. It's actually Blue Cat. Da 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 da. I want to make sure I'm gonna OTK. So in the experimental list, if I have this in graveyard and I don't need it as a starter, and I'm gonna use it as an extender, and it's a trap card, I can do it during my opponent's turn. They cannot get over a 7,000 attack Liger Dancer. I think Memento. I saw a video of a Memento player out playing a Lunalight player, and it was because they could summon out a 5,000 attack monster and get over Liger. You cannot get over a 7,000 attack Liger that way. A big fear with this deck, and me playing it very personally, is there's a lot of rogue decks that can just hit up monsters with 4,000. One of my favorite decks, which is a deck profile next, the Stardust deck. There's like 4 boss monsters that all have 4,000 attack. One can attack multiple times. The Photon archetype, which is going to be after that one. Actually, is that? Yeah, that is that. Yeah. Can hit multiple times and become 12,000. So, all I'm saying is, in those niche cases, I'm sorry. Me personally, my soul, my duelist soul, is just saying boost Liger during your opponent's turn. Alternatively, if you're going second and you don't need this card as a starter, once you get Liger out and you do this to get her onto the field, her effect, target Liger, double the original attack of Liger, and then that's an OTK, because Liger would pop everything on the board, If they have one monster normal summon, it's 7,000 plus a monster with what, less than 2,000, and then you just attack again. Another thing that you got to do when you do the whole going second OTKs, you got to banish Chick so they don't bring out. Let's say they flip True Light and they summon out a Blue Eyes in defense. Like, you can pop them, but what if you pop them and then you want to hit them and then you do hit them and then you try to hit them again and they're like True Light activate. That's why this is very imperative, just so there's no way they can survive that. And this is if you don't want to like waste all your resources to go into a second Liger. I don't think you need this if you have two Ligers, because that's just 4 attacks at that point. But you know what I'm trying to say. Just go as fast as possible into one Liger, have this banish, go into battle phase, and then just kill them with the 7,000 tech Liger. This can only work during the main phase, though. That's the only bad part, is that before they hit battle, you have to do this to go into Blue Cat. But any time during main phase, you can banish this card. I also think it's funny thematically. Blue Cat's on there. You know, she's doing the Serenade dance, and then she comes out. This probably might actually just get changed. And if it doesn't, it would be very funny if with the new support, I still have this right here. But I do expect this to get changed. Not the trap. The trap's 10 out of 10. But this part, I think this is funny. And I just like the attack game. All right, we're gonna go do the tech cards right now. And then the extra deck. So the tech cards are just cards that are like hand traps or whatever. Shout out Blue Cat. She's doing her best. So tech cards are just hand traps or whatever. I play no hand traps. If you're making a going second deck, an OTK going second deck like this, you play no hand traps. You play nothing but board breakers. Now, that's kind of changed because of the Molchomi cards. I don't really like the Molchomi cards because I'm not playing. I play whoever. So that's an interesting sample size. It's not. I'm playing against the meta decks. But if you are going to play against the meta decks, then yeah, go ahead, use the Molchomi cards. Play Sphere Mode, see what happens. If you go Sphere Mode, I think that eats a normal summon, but then you could just banish Serenade Dance, get out Leo, and then go 1-card combo into double Liger, and then that's just funny. I don't think you could attack over Sphere Mode. I don't know the rulings. I think you can. It would make sense that you can, but I don't know. Anyway. 1, Called by the Grave. This card's at 1. If this card was at 3, I'd play 3. Is this even once per turn? This card is not once per turn. If this card was at 3, I'd play at 6. 2, Lightning Storms. Lightning Storm is a godsend. Not in this deck. There's a different deck that I keep drawing Lightning Storm, and I keep blowing my opponent's spells and traps out. It's a Dark Magician deck. Anyway, I'm not using this in the Dark Magician deck. I'm saying I'm blowing out the spells and traps of a Dark Magician deck. Very great. This card has won me a lot of duels. Dark Ruler No More. I do not like Dark Ruler No More, and that is because it does 0 damage to your opponent. I mean, I get to do 0 damage to my opponent. But, luckily, Liger is so strong and powerful. If I'm going second and I break their board with this, and I set up double Liger, triple Liger, we'll get to that in a second, or even just one single Liger, it's all good. I have a Regeki. It's fine. I have a spell trap negated. It's fine. They can't get over the towers. They're just gonna have to scoop. The other card that's also a godsend, kinda, is Forbidden Droplets, and I say kinda because it depends what you send. It also depends what they have on their board. I kind of want to go Dark Ruler, negate their monsters, destroy their back row. It's kind of been getting harder because some decks have just a counter trap randomly. I don't know why. Sometimes my opponent literally goes full combo, has a big old board, like yummy, and then they're like set 5, and I'm like, what do you mean set 5? Like what? So in those terms, I want to go Lightning Storm. I mean Dark Ruler, and then maybe they have like a counter trap. This happened one time with Mitsurugi. Tributed a monster, negated the effect. I'm like, well, damn. There goes my Dark Ruler. Good thing I play 2 though, so I can open up with 2, possibly. They're all at 2 because you can open up like this, and maybe even like this. One time I got a God Hand. It was this, and then Gold Leo. You could replace Gold Leo with any of the starters, but Gold Leo was the best starter. But it was something like that. Actually, it was actually one of the other two ofs in the deck. I'll show you what it is right now. But the point is, you open up multiple board wipes playing it at 2. I know everyone's stuck at play it at 3, but I watched Jesse Pierce's shout out Jesse Pierce. I watched this video on the ratios. I want my deck super consistent. I want it not just super consistent. I want it the best. I wanted the peak ratio. I wanted the meta ratios. And by meta, I don't mean what everyone else is playing. I mean the most effective strategy to win type of meta. So you see a lot of people, they won the YCS or whatever. They won the regional. They have cards at 3, 3, 3. That's bad ratios. That's bad deck building. Now, depends. If you're doing a tournament, it's a little different. If you're doing what I'm kind of doing, which is just me versus the whole world, that's also different because you're not going to fight the meta decks. You're going to fight off meta. I have a question. Can your meta Lunalight deck beat Cyber, not Cyber End Dragon, can it beat a 5,000 attack monster that's unaffected by everything? And if the answer is no, I don't really want to hear it. This deck can beat that monster. It's kind of designed to. It's kind of designed to beat a lot of decks. Get out Liger, get out Blue Cat, make Liger 7,000, attack over that monster, and then attack for game. You know what I mean? Anyway, the other card at 2 is Book of Eclipse. But also, I'm trying to not push it. I'm trying to just say, or not reiterate. Sorry, reiterate. That's not how you pronounce it. I'm just trying to say that if you're going to be playing in a tournament setting, though, you want to, of course, know the meta, and then when you do your side deck, you want to know what to side take out. Versus what I'm doing with this deck is just all around. You know, I'm going to play a random guy at locals. Maybe he has, I don't know what he has. He's not playing the meta. He's just playing a deck. You know, maybe he's playing that Cyber Dragon card I'm talking about, 5,000 attack, unaffected by everything. Can I beat that? All right. You have the best deck in the room, but let's say I open up nothing but starters, no hand traps, and then he gets that out. Can I beat that just with the own archetype? Technically, yes, because of the whole Blue Cat thing. But if I'm playing the exact copy of a meta deck, I am not beating that. Here's another card. Boom. This kind of goes back to like knowing your matchup and stuff. I don't know why the glider's hitting that so bad. This kind of goes back to knowing your matchup and stuff like that. Maybe if I move that just a little bit. Okay. Again, this goes back to knowing your matchup. This is kind of the point I'm just trying to say. I'm not trying to hate on things. I'm not trying to just be a hater. I'm trying to just say that we're doing kind of two different things with the same goal. There we go. Okay. This, 10 out of 10. This, interesting. If it's against a monster, if it's against a deck like Yummy, where it's all monsters, or if there's like negates, or if the deck's just monster heavy, it's not back row reliant. This is interesting. You can drop it, try to bait a negate, just try to destroy whatever you're trying to destroy. A godsend against back row decks, obviously. This is literally the only card that can deal with back row, is this card in this lineup. Dark Ruler No More. I do not like it only for your opponent takes 0 damage. I like it because they can't respond with monster effects, and they can't, it just negates the whole board. So 10 out of 10, you have to play it. Droplet, they cannot respond depending on what you send. Since this deck wants cards in the graveyard, Perfume's a card you want to get in the graveyard, Serenade Dance is a card in your graveyard. If they negate this, you chain this, and then send the trap, and then negate 2 things. If they already use negate on something like this, negate the other 2 negates. Pretty good. 10 out of 10. There's a reason why people are playing this at 3. Book of Eclipse. This is for 2 reasons. The number one reason is so I can dodge. So normal summon Goat Leo or get Goat Leo out. They use the effect, just dodge it, so you can go ahead and continue playing. Second thing is big, just turning off the board, just flipping everything face down, just boop. Um, and in a go second type of way, Lightning Storm, negate that, chain Book of Eclipse. If they negate that, chain Droplets, and then both get 2 more negates, and then send something else to get negate that or whatever. So it's like you wasted your stuff. I just negated your negate, or negated 2 monsters or whatever. Really, really cool. The last thing, and notice these 2 are quick plays. That comes in handy. Because since this is so much for going second, if they make you go first, you can set these. I was playing against a Rizal deck. It was a Rizal Onomatopoeia deck, and I saw they got out 3 bodies, did Book of Eclipse. They had to end their turn. They said, I don't have... It was a friend of mine. They were like, I don't have anything in hand. I'm just going to end my turn. They did draw 3 cards, but I then ended up, I think I did heavy poly or something to go into the Liger, blew up their board, and then I think they just had a scoop. Last card I want to say, Sales Band. You want to call Draw and Lockbird, especially if they side. You want to call Ash Blossom. You want to call any card that's just going to be a big thorn in your side. Salesman is very good. Salesman is a Omni card. It's meant not an Omni negate. It's just an Omni card. You could go first or second with it. Going first, it's like what hand trap would like really mess up my hand. So you have to kind of. It's a card that works entirely on knowledge. If you're going second, you could just turn something off on the board, or you could bait something with this card. Don't forget about baiting. Baiting is something you can definitely do with this card. The other cards are actually the extra deck. Again, if you're going to side, all these cards right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tech cards. All these could be hand traps. I would still keep the Caught by the Grave though, just in case. And the reason why I would keep the Caught by is in case they do a hand trap on you, or maybe they send away an important piece. Let's say you're playing against a Red Eyes deck, you could just banish the Red Eyes. I know I'm not using meta like stuff, but I'm just trying to get the point over everyone's head that you could hit an important card, basically. The extra deck is very interesting. I think I'm going to change it again, but I'll show you what I used to play. 2 Perfumes. I used to play 1 Saber, and the other card I would play was actually a Panther Dancer. But after playing a lot, Panther never showed except for 1 duel in Master Duel. Did it go off? Did I need a Panther? I forgot what happened and why. I think it's because I just used up all my resources to get out 1 Liger, or maybe I think it was 2 Ligers. And I wanted to go even more, so I was like, oh, I have Panther, we'll just get a Panther. But I'm always sending away Panther for Liger when I do the blow everything up. And I said, well, if I'm going to be sending Panther, I might as well just send another Saber. So I have 2 Sabers. Again, this deck is meant to be playing second. If you're going first, you just need 1 Saber for the bump up and to kill. If you're going second, I like to bring out 1 Saber and a Liger. That's just how I like to play it. Also, Liger is another card that can help beat over a 4,000 attack monster. She becomes very, very strong. She hits 4,100 after you do the 1 card combo. And one time she was 5,000. And it's very interesting, this card against the Gorgon, because the Gorgon card they try to use against you to defeat Liger, it says original attack. She's originally 3,000, but then she gains a buff. So it's very, very interesting. At least if I remember correctly, that's how that played out. I'm playing 2 Leo, a mystery card, and then 2 Liger, and then a mysterious card. So I'll tell you what these mysterious cards used to be. One used to be an Almirage, and one used to be a Guardian Chimera. But something deep in me said, don't do that. Instead, play. It was a Guardian Chimera, but something deep within me said, play a Leo dance. Play 3 Leo Dancer. So I said, okay, I'll play 3 Leo. And then what ended up happening is that I could go into double Lego, double Liger, and a Saber Dancer. Now, the question is, do I need this? No. Do I want it? Yes. Hey, I'm just being honest. If I'm going to OTK you and end the duel in one turn, I'd rather have Saber and 2 Liger to just attack you. She's 4,000 plus, and the other two are 38. I was correct, 38. And of course, I took out the Almirage because I said it's not coming up. I feel a little silly using Almirage, so I'm going to put another Liger. And the reason why I have another Liger is if they out the first Liger, or if they Kaiju or whatever, Lava Golem, the 2 Liger, when it's my turn, it's time to kill them because I went first, I'm going to drop a final Liger and I'm going to end the game. So I said, well, I have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. What should they be? Well, I said I really need the Tiger King for the whole combo. Tiger King did come up one time, and I said I'm so happy that I'm playing this card. I got him out, I activated his effect, detached the material, negated all cards, non-targeting, and it turned off an effect that basically let my opponent not be destroyed by destruction. Once I was off and I got Liger on board, I destroyed his whole board, he surrendered. I said, oh my goodness, if I did not have Liger there, I didn't have Tiger King to get to help me destroy his board with Liger. I don't know what would happen, but I'm just happy I have him. Cross Sheep, these are old friends of mine in this deck. No, outside right now. Cross Sheep, just getting back another guy to help you do things. Sometimes I would end my board with double Liger and Cross Sheep, or if not, a Liger and a Saber and Cross Sheep. Because at that point, after I got Cross Sheep out, I would just go straight into a Fusion Summon. With that being said, he's 700, and if they die, they just die, so it doesn't really matter. He can also just hit them for 700 if they're that low on life points. The other card is a mystery card. I keep doing this to you guys. And the other card is SP Little Knight and a mystery card. Now, these 2 cards I had in, but people are like, no, take them out, put something better. This is what the meta players are doing. This is what we're all doing. And that was actually Daguerreus, the Timeless. I forgot number 60, I think. Forgot his number. Sorry. But the reason why I did not play him, but I did always play him in my previous Lunalight builds before Liger came out, is because Liger is unaffected by all card effects except Lunalight card effects. Reason why I'm playing the Blue Cat. So Daguerreus is only good if I get out Saber or Leo and I buff their attacks up, and I'm like, it's kind of whatever. If I'm going first, his effect can kind of help with the Lunalight cards getting off their effects. What I'm going to do, draw 2 cards. Like, I'm trying to end the duel. That's not really helping me. I need Liger on the field like yesterday. He can Reborn, but it's kind of whatever. The other effect is the double effect. Really good. That's the one I would always use him for, to get out the OTK. I did modify the 1-card combo so I could get out Saber Dancer and actually buff up Saber Dancer by doubling her attack first, and then her continuous effect would be applied. It's kind of whatever. I feel like I'm using more. And the last card here is actually Bagushka. Bagushka would always get outed against certain meta decks because of the something in the Virtuous, the branded card. Literally a spell card that just says pop a card on the field. So they would just play it and then pop Bagushka. That was it. What am I going to do? Waste a wolf on that? Like, I don't really care. I guess maybe I could have just wolf negated it or whatever. Whatever. The point is, what if I don't have wolf? The point is, they can just out it a million other ways. Just imperm it. Can't wolf and imperm. I think wolf is only spells. I forgot. But either way, I'm playing since I'm playing this because if I'm gonna go first, I'd rather play these cards anyway. And that's gonna be an IP Masquerena. I'd rather just with Cross Sheep here as material, um, go ahead and bring out SP so the board looks like that, and then use these two for a Little Knight. So now Little Knight can't be destroyed with card effects, and then I get a free banish. What am I going to do? Attack during when they're going like second? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, the last card is a very interesting card that I personally wanted to try. I want to see if it even came up. And then for this whole season, I took it out for Bagushka. Whatever. It was the Gorgon card. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your opponent cannot summon to these 3 zones, and if they do, um, she gains attack, and it's pretty cool. She's really, really bad because you could just pop her, but that's kind of why I'm using the SP anyway, because I have these 2 SP effects go into Gorgon, turn end, and it's not really like Gorgon's not meant to be like the end all be all, like, you know what I mean. She's not even a boss monster. It's just that if you combined her with Liger, hypothetically, because I need to actually duel with this deck after I did all these modifications, is that you're gonna blow up the field and they have 3 zones they can't summon to, so it's gonna be like really hard for them to like just to extend, and then you just blow the field up again, and it's like, well, damn, well, you know, the Gorgon's kind of just there being a pain in my ass. Gorgon being unaffected by no being cannot be destroyed by card effects because of IP is very interesting. But I just want to say one last time, experimental deck list. With that being said, I want to show you guys the side deck for this deck. I have side decks for all my decks of the night decks, but they have not yet been completed because some decks, like the Blackwater Soldier deck, that support is coming out in Chaos Origin. Other decks, like the Kiryushin deck, is kind of like dead right now because there's not that many. There's not a 1-card combo for that deck. This is the only deck to actually side for, or that I have siding for. But the siding in this deck is actually. You saw those tech cards I had earlier for going second? Well, with this deck, it's kind of the opposite. So if I'm going to go first in a match, I'm going to side in Ash, Bell, Gristland Prison, and of course my favorite, Mask of Restrict. I had these 3 cards as heavy polymerization in the sideboard just in case, but I took this should be Fractal, but I put Fractal back in my box, so just leave that there in case I really need it. Panther, Bagushka, Drogoris, and of course, very interesting, in case I need it, Underworld Goddess. She was meant to be in the extra deck. It's just that with the 3 Ligers and the 3 Leos that I absolutely don't need, but I absolutely want in my deck, I can't fit her in there. I'm thinking I'm going to do the deck, redo the extra deck one more time, / wait for the support and then redo the extra deck. We may have Panther in there. We may have Cat Dancer. We may have some more fusions in there. And I'm probably going to just cut a lot of the XC / Link monsters. I don't think we need them. If you're going first, a big scary Liger and Mask of Restrict is more than enough. They can't tribute it. Can't tribute cards. That kills. These 2 cards kill like certain decks. This kills Yummy. This kills Mitsurugi. This kills Red Eagle's Dragon. The only out to it would be the Harmonia card for this one. This is a 2-turn lingering effect card, like, you know what I mean? And even if you do get monsters, I'm gonna Liger destroy it anyway. So these are the going first cards, and these are just the side deck tune-up cards. And again, for this side deck, it is just for whatever I may fight randomly. If you're actually going to go into a tournament, you're going to want to side deck very appropriately. I just want to keep giving out that warning because I'm pretty sure out of all these videos, I'm going to have people who are trying to take this deck to a tournament. So I'm just trying to throw that out there. But this was my experimental build for Lunalight / my current build for Lunalight. I hope you guys liked it. The idea with this one, by the way, is to IP Masquerena into it. That would be very funny. Masquerena effect. There goes a very important monster you needed that could not be distributed. Funny enough, you could actually do that on Liger Dancer with Liger Dancer, or in Lunalight, I should say, or against Lunalight. It also freezes the entire board. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you.